You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Claire, I'm not standing here asking you to marry me. I'm just asking you not to marry him.
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow.
It's the Al Travis Show. We get him here once a week. Love having him on. He's Senator Aric Putnam. Senator, how are you?
Hey there, my friend. How you doing?
I'm not in any kind of good mood. I was in bad mood yesterday because it was the 1 week anniversary you guys getting back. So I don't think my bad mood is just because I'm not eating today. I have my annual physical, and so you can't eat or anything because they'd hate to know how I run my life regularly. I don't know. So I'm hangry, so that's not good. But I don't think that has anything to do with where I'm at or what's been happening in the legislature, so we'll get to that. I want to ask you about, you and I have to get into business, because you do this for a living. You teach college kids how to talk, right? How to be a good speaker. Yeah, that's what you do. I think I'm not good at it, but I see a lot of good radio guys out there that do this well, and I would like to help both parties out. Did you watch State of the Union yesterday? And I'm no blame if you don't. I mean, it was way late.
As much as I could. It was 8 hours long. So as much.
Well, it was an hour and 40 minutes. It's the longest one ever. And I went to bed before it was over. I'm going to be honest. I had no idea when it was going to end, and I got to get up in the morning. So I went to bed. I didn't see it all.
Yeah.
Watched about an hour. So I'm not ripping, but I saw enough to say we got to get better. Now you guys do a state of the state, and your guys been in charge. Maybe you always go to them. What were your thoughts on just like 70 or 80 people, Congress people, didn't go? I know it's the crappy part of the job, but the House invites the president to give the state of the state, been doing for, 150 years. Just not going. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, it's weird. I see it kind of both ways.
Same here.
Because, I mean, you're there not for Trump. You're there for the office of the presidency.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you go. And so that's your obligations to the office, not to the individual. But this particular individual, from my perspective, has not done a very good job of fulfilling the expectations of the office of the presidency.
Oh, so let's say you don't go. I'm okay. I'm almost better you didn't go. And this is where I'm going to get on Ilhan Omar. People I know, she's our Minnesota Congresswoman. But from a how to get your point across state, I don't know if you saw her, she started screaming at the president during the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of things. He's got a microphone about 1.5 inches from his mouth, and it's going across to the world. And you're out there in left field screaming something, and I don't have the greatest hearing, I'll give you that, but I did not understand what she said. I did get the transcript this morning when I read about it, called him a liar. Right? My point is, if you're going to try to get your point across, screaming from the gallery doesn't do it. She looked at the time like she came unhinged, and I'm not trying to be mean. She should hold it, go out to get a microphone when somebody asks her thoughts on it, and then let her go. Would you suggest something? How do I put this? My kids played basketball, and some of the parents are nuts, and they're sitting back here screaming instruction, bend your knees, shoot with your hips. The kid can't hear you. It's all crazy. You look like a lunatic. It's just, if she sounded like someone in the gym, would you tell her that's the effective way of doing a rebuttal?
Now, do you remember a couple of years ago? I think it was Obama. Yeah, I'm sure it was Obama.
Yeah, some guy yelled liar or something, right?
He yelled liar, but he yelled it out once and he yelled it out loudly.
Yes.
So the bar for interaction with the president for being rude in that space was broken a long time ago or set low. What I'm saying is that, in terms of being effective, I think one clear liar probably would have worked a little bit better because the exchange without being able to hear her is not great optics. I think you're right.
I don't want to make him really good at doing that because the guy was wrong to yell liar, but in his defense, he waited till the applause went down, yelled it, and all 500 people go, oh, he called him a liar. I could not hear what she was saying. It was just they're putting her on camera to. It just looked like she was ranting, and it was a bad look. That's all I'm saying. You and I could fix these people. We could do a better job of it.
No, I'm with you. The optics was weird because they kept going back there, and you just see her mouse lip move. Like you wouldn't actually what she said. Like that doesn't seem like a
is it Talib was next to her? I don't remember that gal's name, but she's like almost rooting her on. Like, go girl, you can, almost go, you got her, and egging her on. I'm like, folks, it's just not a good look. Anything else you want to say about the State of the Union? Rah rah, go USA hockey team. Okay. After that, I was really kind of cool.
If it was just rah rah, go USA hockey team, that would have been cool. But it was rah rah, USA hockey team. Democrats hate America. Like that part.
Yeah,
really necessary. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, we just had
for applause. Like, why aren't you guys standing up for me? Because you just said something dumb.
Oh, and he started something. He started something we're all going to hate. Okay, so I don't know what the trap question was. Everyone, please stand if you believe we're here for the American people and not the illegals. And of course, the right all stands up, and then the left's like, "Well, I believe that, but I can't stand up because I've already been told I can't stand up, but I don't want to be." It's a nuanced thing. Oh crap, we're in a trap. Next Democrat's going to get in there. Stand up if you believe, and whatever. It's just a trap question. Yeah. I hated that. Right. Quite frankly, I hate it.
Who likes kittens? Who thinks, stand up?
Who think dog people are better than cat people? And you're just going to cause division for no good reason. I thought that was also a lame part by the president. Is that fair? We didn't need that.
Absolutely. Totally unnecessary.
All right.
So he made it all the way through. I'm also surprised he's done. I thought he might still be going. I couldn't keep going. It was too long, too much.
Well, if we could all agree, this is where we'll never agree at. Could we all agree that the president's going to give his 12-minute speech and we will not interrupt it by clapping? And when it's done after 12 minutes, you can stand up and clap the rest of the darn night if you want. Make it an hour and 40 minutes. I don't know that he said 12 minutes worth of words. It's just the constant, the dramatic pause at the end where he's saying, you know what it says right there, wait for applause. And it's like, nah, get that out of there. Am I wrong?
No, you know what? I can solve all problems in politics in 20 seconds with one word. Maybe it's two. It's a compound word. Trapdoor. So, put trapdoors in every place in public whenever a politician is speaking, and just pull a lever when the time has come, and they just got to go away. Yeah. So you got to put the limit when you're in a state of the union, or the trapdoor opens and no one knows where you go.
Or, we have character generators now, that sort of thing, CG stuff for television. Instead of the clapping and the standing, you just put what's the little applause hands you get, and that would just show up on TV while he continues to speak. And there'd be, I don't know, red hands for Republicans and blue hands, and then we can just be done with the wasted time. Because I did go to bed. I had no idea when it was last. I think I made it. Well, it was started at 8. It was 9-ish, and I went to bed. And I'm just like, let me know when it's over. So, Sorry. No, I think so how do you think things going in your world? You laugh. Is that as about as honest as you can get with the president? You thought I was going to be all pro-Trumpy. He goes too far. He just does.
Well, you're a smart, reasonable person. I didn't say that out loud, and I didn't really mean it.
In my head, I got to pull that back. People are going to hate me for saying that.
But no, I think that's the response. I mean, we want more from government than a cheerleader, or a bully. We want something more than that. And I'm not talking about left or right, Republican or Democrat. We just need something I don't know, what's the word? Leadership? Is that the word?
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about with the battle before. I would say the BS card comes out. I think it's funny. And I know people are going to hate me for saying this, but I think 2-3 times, I know it was when he was talking the Trump baby money, the Trump deal. Mm-hmm. I didn't name it that. Yeah, that wasn't me. They named it. It's like, he's president. Somebody says, let's call it the Trump money. And he's like, no, we can find something a little more clever than that. I don't need it. And he did that 2-3 times. And it's like, you're the president. You don't have to. You could have said, no, Bob, change it to the baby money. Whatever, pick something different. He's got an issue there.
Yeah, it's a shame because I actually like that. That's a really good policy. It's a good idea.
It is a great idea. The other one is, and I didn't get I don't know how this is going to work, but he talked about people that can't get into the 401k business because they don't have a business that matches that sort of thing, so they don't have that option to grow their money. And it'll be Trump 401k, I'm sure, whatever he's going to call the thing. But I'd like the idea of the little guy who doesn't have that, you're just running and you don't have that kind of thing, that the government could be your 401k. You put in this, we match. I don't know where that money comes from because I'm cheap. Don't know how that works. But the baby money, as I understand it, really rich people gave it. Mm-hmm. So if he could figure that out, I think that's a brilliant idea to help the little guy. Because if you're not working with a company that has 401k and matching, then you're just not probably getting in the game.
Right.
So anyway, I throw him that out. Anyway, I got to go to break. You have yet, because you're just deflecting, and I hate that when you do that. You're just deflecting. You didn't say one thing about what you guys have been doing all week long. Can we talk about that on the other side?
Absolutely.
I got him. Senator Aric Putnam on the Al Travis Show.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
We've got him, Senator Aric Putnam, who's been allowed to deflect all the way up to this point, but now I'm holding his feet to the fire. How do you think your first week went, sir?
Well, so I'm going to say that it's interesting you're saying that I'm deflecting, because that implies intention and purpose when I'm just a space cadet with no attention span. Now, did you have another question?
No, and I love that people are like, oh, Al held his feet to fire. I never tell them what we're going to talk about, and I brought up the State of the Union and all the stuff we talked about so far. So when I say deflecting, it's all on me. How do you think your week went?
To make that joke.
I think that is funny.
Make the joke. It's been a weird week. It's been a super weird week, but we did get a couple things. But it's getting strangely partisan in ways that's surprising me, because the Senate doesn't usually behave that way. But we've had some weird interactions that are much more House-like than senatorial. So I don't know.
And can you give us an insight of what, Joanna, you're talking about? What you're talking about?
In general, like it seems a little bit more tense than I would have expected, because we all have low expectations for what we're going to get accomplished. So I thought we'd all be just generally chill. But I think maybe it's the campaign season that's making people a little spicy on top of it all.
I just am so disappointed. I think the third time they're going to try to do the OIG bill again. And not that I thought you guys would get a ton done because it is an election year, but this one to me, as close as it was last year, and then 9 months of us being hammered across national media about how bad it is here, I do find it really hard to believe one Democrat on the House side didn't say, not a perfect bill, but let's get something done. This is a shot. You can't shake your head on radio. You're agreeing with me, but you're not letting the world know it because it's radio. You know what I'm saying? That is almost shocking to me. And what I'm watching is theater. Mm-hmm. That's you're going to give me they can't use that against you in a radio commercial. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm disappointed too, because Heather, my pal Heather's worked really hard on this, and I'm on that bill too.
Yeah.
And, I guess the part that frustrates me most is one, we didn't know that it was going to come up necessarily because Lisa Dameth didn't hear it last time around.
Yeah.
But even so, you've had 6 months in the interim to have some conversations about the bill to kind of work out the things you like and you don't like. And so I'm a little bit, and I don't know what's going on in the House. I don't think anyone ever does. But
I would give you that.
I would think that they should have done, maybe they have done the homework. I don't know, but I'm surprised that we came straight into gridlock. That seems weird.
Here's the excuse I'm getting that drives me nuts, because they had put in a poison pill that swept everything, because they want to walk slowly on this to make sure the bill is right. So I'm getting from the left. It's like, I would generally agree with you if we hadn't spent the last, 8, 10, 20 years, whatever that guy said, screwing this thing up. And she goes, what do you mean? Minnesota Autism Centers, this came out this week. State workers are not legally allowed to make unannounced site visits because autism centers were not required to have licenses. So we couldn't go check to see if they're autism centers. So they make it a rule. Now you got to have a license. 6 of 500 autism centers applied for the license. 6. So 494 presumably decided licensing was just too much work for the money we're making, so they're getting out. And I told this person, I said, wait a minute. We set that whole autism thing up without a second thought. And now all of a sudden when we come, let's try to save somebody's money, let's make sure this is going well, we better slow this process down. It seems backwards, sir. This doesn't take this long.
Yeah, I think that the OIG is kind of an ambitious move. But it's when they say like there's more work to do, we want to make sure we do it right. What bothers me about that is the implication that we haven't been doing the work, that we haven't been trying to make sure we're doing it right.
See, this is you saying the House had 5-6 months to get together, come up with a better version. I'm sorry. I know you guys in the Senate. You had committee meetings. You got together. You guys formed up people to talk to, and you came up with a pretty darn good bill. So let's just say we go with a pretty darn good bill so we can start cutting some of this fraud out. And someone says, oh, yeah, if we change this and this, it'll be even better. Good. Do that next week. Let's giddy up. I think Minnesotans are that closer. We're just tired that this is going to go on some party line vote. We can't get the obvious done. And they're going to muck around. I don't know if you saw it. They didn't want to bring it up. They're mucking around with a bill on whether people under 18 should be able to get the porn sites. Now, not necessarily one of the top things on my list of things I thought about last week, but they had a hearing on it, and they were talking this discussion. And literally a person stood up in the House and said, no, that's where a lot of us got sex education from, and we need it. And I thought to myself, that's the entire point of the bill. We don't want somebody in Hollywood or wherever porn's made teaching our kids, and that's the conversation we're having. Do we have that much time on our hands? You're shaking your head at me. I might be wrong. Maybe 18-year-olds should have it. I don't know. But maybe I'm just old and think, yeah, you're too young. The Playboys used to be behind the counter, and they had the little wrapper on it so you couldn't see any of the good stuff. That's how porn's supposed to be treated. With a little thing where you only see the eyes of the pretty girl, and that's it. That's how society's made, Aric, and you're not going to say anything on this. I put you in a bad spot.
No, I am. I'm totally good with this one. But I got a new slogan for you: "Make porn great again." Like that's your new thing. No, because the other thing you're talking about, Al, and this is super, super important, is that back in the day with those Playboys, we were just talking about naked people on occasion. We weren't talking about the kind of crap that comes out now. So that's a huge difference, and the accessibility and the variety of stuff that I've heard is available on there.
It's all alleged for now. But that's kind of an interesting point, because we've been talking for years, what is porn? Well, I know it when I see it. Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't take long to get on some stupid website by accident because you typed in something backwards to find out what porn is. And I don't think it's wrong that kids shouldn't see it without, I don't know, parentals. I don't know how you get around it. You guys come up with the rules. You decide what it is, but I think we can get there. And the idea that that's how some people get their sex education is like the worst argument I've ever heard in the history of my whole world.
Well, you may have heard of this character. I know you're not going to want to admit to know him in public, but his name's Nick Frentz. Maybe you heard of him.
I know him professionally.
So he's a great dude, and one of the things he frequently says, which I totally admire and think is spot on, is whenever we're talking about issues, he says, how many Minnesotans have told you that's something that's important to them right now? And this would be one of those issues, like of all the things going on in the world right now, and we have a limited time to talk about all the things that are going on in the world. Yeah. Making porn available to people who are under 18, that's not on my top 175 list of things that I got to take care of today.
See, that's Nick's a smart man, and so that's what got me about it. We're talking about all these things that are really heady right now, and maybe if your kid's addicted to porn, this is your top of your mind, but it doesn't make the top Hondo list for me. I didn't know it. So spend some time and work that out, will you? I got to go. I'm out of time. Appreciate you dodging all the hard questions, sir. Maybe we'll try it again next week.
That's what I'm here for. See you then. Take care, man.
Senator Aric Putnam on the Al Travis Show.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly